Yeah, I would love to just drop in with you all and yeah, share a little bit of what to expect over the next hour together and share with you a little bit about me. Um, yeah, so I'm Whitney and I am in Memphis, Tennessee right now. Also the land of the Chickasaw peoples. Yeah, and yeah, I'm really, really lucky to live super close to this like old growth forest that is magical and so nourishing. And I'm really close to the Wolf River and Mississippi River and Neshoba River. And it was referred to by indigenous folk. And yeah, so authentic relating matters a lot to me because I grew up in a really religious, very strict, kind of puritanical. I'm going to turn my heater off so y'all can maybe hear me a little bit better. Um, Culture where we didn't really talk about our feelings. There were kind of two layers of reality. There was like what was really happening, and then what you were allowed to say and talk about and acknowledge. And so there was this dual reality happening all the time. And when I found authentic relating, being able to experiment with these tools of like, whoa, what is it like if I can say the true thing? And I have tools that I can like take out of this context and use in my everyday life, and people actually are there for it. Like people can actually hold me in that. It just blew my mind. Um, so much so that when I found this practice, it didn't exist where I live, and I kind of inspired and spontaneously was like, does anybody want to practice this with me? And uh, 50 folks showed up in the basement of a church the next day. And then in my living room weekly after that for a couple years. Um, yeah, so it's just been really beautiful to see how this has grown and changed me and grown and changed the community that I practice with. Um, so, yeah, I'm curious who has some familiarity with authentic relating. Like you've done it, practice it all the time, a little bit, never before. This is your first time. Where are you? Awesome, awesome, beautiful. All welcome. It's all welcome. Nice. About what's true, right? And for us to share what's true um, requires some sense of safe enough container, right? I would argue that maybe no space is ever completely safe, right? Our boundaries come with us wherever we go, and our discernment and our attunement. Um, but there are some core themes that create containers where I notice I feel safe enough to bring more of myself, to bring more of my parts. And that goes for events, and it also goes for just like individual relationships. And I want to share those with you. And I'll put them in the chat for folks who are a little bit more visual. And I won't go super far into this because I do want to get into the practice. But I think it's important to, yeah, kind of have a sense of how we're going to hold the container together, because this is something we co-create. So honor self. Just because I'm the person speaking or sharing something with you, anything I share is an invitation. Please bring your own discernment, your own curiosity, your own wisdom, your own self-leadership. You're not required to do anything that I suggest. Please take care of yourself first. If you need to use the bathroom, if you need video off, if you don't want to participate in something, I celebrate that. That's awesome. And then honor others. So as other people are practicing this self-leadership, right? It might feel a little crunchy or sticky for me. I might want to give advice. I might want to jump in and fix something. I might notice assumptions coming up, right? And that's okay. It's part of being human and connecting with other humans. And the goal is really just noticing that inside myself as it's happening, right? I don't have to change it. I don't have to act on it. I can just notice it happening. And then to lean into your edge. So for everyone, this is individual. And your edge, I like to talk about learning zone. I love the nervous system. The other thing I do in my life is I work in somatics and trauma and sexuality. So I'm always talking about the body, and I love the nervous system. One thing we know about our nervous systems is that they're so unique and individual. And I need both parts, this parasympathetic, rest, relaxed, I feel safe, and this sympathetic. This is new and exciting and engaging enough that I'm really paying attention. We need both of them engaged and balanced to be able to learn. And sometimes when they're both engaged and balanced, it feels a little awkward. I might feel some heat in my body. I might feel lots of attention on the thing, right? And that's okay. I welcome that. And I welcome you to play in that zone. Yeah, so I'm curious how all that is landing. I realize I just gave you a lot of information. And for folks who are brand new to it, there might be some integration going on. Are there any questions? Anything else you need to know? Or any asks so that you can more fully show up in this space? Thank you, Lena, for the feedback. It feels good hearing from you. I noticed I'm craving more of each of your voices in the space. Like, it feels good connecting with your faces, and I'm craving hearing you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. That sounds really good. I appreciated the intro, and I'm excited.
Nice. All right, let's dive in. So the first thing I want to invite you to do, I love this stuff, and there's this part of me that every time I engage, I just like, I want to get started and see what other people's world is like. And I notice that that experience is so much more rich when I'm bringing myself, my full self, along for the ride. There's a way I can jump out of my body and jump out of my experience to get really curious about yours. And I want you to bring your whole self and welcome your whole self into that experience with others in the space. So my invitation to you would be just to take a quiet minute with me, and you can keep your eyes open or closed, videos on or off, and maybe just noticing your feet on the floor or wherever your feet are, thanking your feet for being in contact with earth, for giving you information, for carrying you. Maybe noticing your sits bones wherever you are, thanking them for trusting whatever surface you're on to hold you. Noticing your heartbeat, your breath. Thank you, breath and heartbeat, for carrying on without me having to think about it or telling me what to do. Just do it. Maybe noticing any tension in your body. And thank you, tension, for holding us, for holding me. And you don't have to anymore. Noticing any soft places. Any places where you feel resourced in your body. Any pleasurable sensations. Thank you, sensations, for giving us information. I invite you to take a breath with me. Maybe slowly come back. Noticing other folks in the group if that feels good to you. Noticing what you're bringing. All of your emotions are welcome. They don't have to be only happy or joyful or excited, curious. They can also be unsure, grief, sadness, discomfort. All that's welcome too. And kind of with this energy, I want to invite you into the next practice. This will be our first practice. And it's called Anybody Else. And the way it'll work is we'll all turn videos off, and then anyone, we're just doing it popcorn style. So I'll turn my video off and I'll be the first example. We'll just turn video on. Make sure you turn your sound on too. And I'll pop into the room and I'll say something that's true for me now. So everyone's video is off, right? And then I'll come into the room and I'm kind of touching into just like what's true for me right now. And right now I notice I have a lot of deep questions about my ancestry. Anybody else? And if that's also true for you, you don't have to say anything. You keep your video off. Just turn your video on. Beautiful. I like to look around and connect, and just feels good to know I'm not alone in that. And take a breath together here, and you can invite people to do that with you. So I invite you to take a breath with me. If it feels good to you. And then I'll turn my video off, and we'll all turn videos off again, and I'll invite whoever would like to turn their video on and share something that's true for them right now.
I am finding that I'm sitting with so much grief that has not had action attached to it or any kind of space given to it. And it just feels really stopped up. And I don't really know what to do with it or where to go with it or how to hold it anymore. And it's heavy. I think it's very true for me.
Anyone else feeling grief? Thank you.
Thank
I love the addition of emojis too. I see some people sending you love. Anyone else to share what's true for you?
I'm really wishing this were happening in person. It would just feel so good to be in space like this with other people's bodies.
Thank you. Okay, we're all turning videos off again. Everyone's video off.
I think Marielle may have missed the instructions.
Marielle, can you hear us? So video is off unless you want to turn video on and share something that's true for you.
I am in awe and wonder at all the amazing, beautiful people I have met this weekend and how many people are doing good, and it gives me hope.
Breath here. That feels good to you. Thank you.
I am feeling a deep realization that the people I'm connecting with virtually are the people who I get to create my world with. And I'm so grateful to be here in this place where people who are set on personal growth and doing what they can to make the world better, connecting and showing up and still leaning in and doing the work, even though we're in these crises.
Taking a breath with you. Thank you. Maybe one or two more.
I'm feeling such deep gratitude for the authenticity and the big hearts and the people showing up here. I went to bed last night and woke up this morning feeling good and feeling better than I have in a few weeks. And I'm really grateful for that. And I have all this grief because of how much loneliness I've felt the last few weeks. And as a friend reminded me when I started to share that a few weeks ago, she said, "You've done pretty well if you've made it this far in the pandemic without feeling that so poignantly till now." Breathing that in, and also a really particular both joy and grief, a joy in being in this community where expression of needs, my expression of needs and caring for myself in response to that has been so welcomed, and a sadness for other relationships and parts of my life where all the work I've done to be able to really be fine-tuned, in touch with my needs and communicate them in sincere and open, kind ways is not met with such welcome. That's a language a lot of folks near to me don't know yet, and I feel sadness for that.
Video on if you resonate with any part of that. Thank you for sharing. I don't know if you were able to see, it looks like you might be mobile, but there's so many hearts popping up on screens as you were sharing.
Thank you.
Yeah. Maybe one more. Yeah. One more share, maybe for someone who maybe a quieter voice or doesn't tend to speak up first. Ari, I think I see you a video on. Did you want to share?
Yeah, I want to say today I'm really low energy and I'm tired. I didn't sleep last night, but I feel the compassion and the capacity within this space and within the Kalapa experience to show up as I am and to be welcomed as I am, and that is so different than what we usually experience in this life. And I have so much gratitude for that. So, thank you. So even when my energy is low, I'm still held with appreciation for where I'm at and for what I come to experience and to give and to receive. So thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. I would love to stay here for so much longer, and I want to give you a chance to go even deeper with each other. So yeah, I'm going to invite videos on, and I want to thank the folks who, even if you didn't turn a video on every time, for holding, right? For listening and witnessing. That's part of what creates this possibility, right? Even if you're not directly participating, but witnessing and holding with love and compassion. Empathy. So this next practice, we're going to jump into breakout rooms. And I think what I want to do here, Alan, I want to make sure that we're not rushed on time. So what I'd love to do is maybe do groups of 3 instead of 4. So you each have more time for your voice to be in the space. And maybe we'll make it like 12 minutes, anywhere between 10 to 12. And then we'll have that extra little bit. And I'm just going to put some sentence stems in the chat. We use these a lot in authentic relating, and these are my favorite things to do with somebody I'm getting to know or someone I think I know really well. There are decks of cards that have these, and I'll like throw them out on the table at dinner parties for pre-COVID times. And I'll like use them, not literally in my back pocket, but metaphorically, on dates or with even people I think I know really well. And it's just a great way to like just jump right to the stuff that you want to talk about and ask the questions that matter. So I'm going to put a couple sentence stems in the chat. It's just like sentence starters, right? Welcome back. I'm curious if folks got to feel a little bit more connected and dropped in. Guessing it might have been difficult to get to all of those sentences in the time given. Yeah, I'm hoping you got to pick and choose. Anyone want to pop on your sound and share what it was like for you? If you had any epiphanies or any feelings you want to share?
I just want to share real quick that something that I had picked up from 2 different presenters, I realized right at the end that I was able to tie together some really important moments of sharing from them and wisdom that they bestowed on me, and that I could tie them together. Actually, more than the 2, but it really, those 2 really brought a bright moment that I could tie between them, and it opened up so much for me. Like literally, it just, and I was sharing that with my small group in the breakout room.
Thanks for sharing. I love when those threads happen between experiences.
Yeah.
Feels not so coincidental and purposeful. All right, I want to give you a chance to actually take this last question a little bit deeper in your next group. A learning from this event that you want to integrate. And we're going to take kind of the learning, but we're going to do a shift of that. So it's more like what matters to you right now. This is called a core exploration. And I'm a super visual person. And so I want to give you a visual model to work with in your breakout room. So part of this you're going to explore with a partner verbally, and there's going to be a lot more here that you can harvest out of this through journaling or whatever else later. The idea of this is not to be able to fully complete and fill in everything right now, but to just kind of get your juices flowing and get you started and give you this resource and tool that you can use when you feel spacious and have a desire to do this. So core exploration is going to look like, let me actually put it in the chat again for folks who are more visual and you want to see how that's going to go. So, all right.
Quick question, Whitney, after you do that.
Really? What you got?
So we're going to be doing dyads, yeah?
Yeah, we'll be in groups of 2.
And we're an odd number, so are you okay with one triad, or?
Yeah, totally. That might be.
Okay, perfect. That's all.
So thanks for asking. So you'll just drop in with a breath, And one person is just going to share something that matters the most to me right now, like the thing that my life, my passion feels oriented around. Maybe it's a core value. It doesn't have to be the only value that's existing, for you, but one that feels really central, like everything else seems to be oriented around this. And you're just going to get to talk. Kind of like if you were, just free writing in your journal. You just get to talk about it and just share. You can share all the details. You've got 3 minutes to share whatever you want about it. In partner B, you're listening with your ears, but you're also listening for resonance. Notice your body. Like, did you feel any certain sensations in you? Did you notice yourself leaning in? Did you notice like a change in the person's voice when they said a certain thing? And at the end of this 3 minutes, you get to reflect back to them, I felt you the most when. Or something I think I'm getting about you is, you can ask the person, how does that land, right? Because 3 minutes is a short time to really get someone's world about something so important. And then for the next 5 minutes, and you may have to do a little tweaking on the time if you're in a group of 3. Really the most important parts is that 3 minutes of just uninterrupted sharing and then the 1 minute of reflection. So then for about 5 minutes, we're going to explore this system that can help sustain the care in that thing. One thing that matters to me a lot is social justice. And when I am not connected to this model or to my roots in this, I burn out so fast. So I want to share with you a visual. Y'all, I used to be a fun fact, one of my 7 careers in my life already, I used to be a first grade teacher. So don't laugh at my kid drawing. But this is what I've got so far. So basically, I want you to think of it like a tree, and I'll also put it in the chat. So this is going to be kind of your journaling prompt that you can talk through with a partner. So I want you to imagine that this trunk is the thing that matters the most to you, right? And then the roots are the beliefs and experiences that make it matter. There are a million things in the world to care about, right? The reason that we particularly care about certain ones is maybe because you had a really impactful, contrasting experience. Or maybe because of a certain spiritual belief or practice that really grounds that important thing in your reality. So it's what makes this matter to you? And if I were journaling this, I would be listing, right? I would be free flow writing, or maybe even writing along the roots. And then in the branches, this is what does this thing do in the world? Right now, how do you see the fruit of your caring for this thing? What has it given you? What has it gifted you or gifted others? What's the inspiration, right? That's I know that this is doing something. It's not totally pointless. And then, so foliage and fruit would be and the highest manifestation of this thing in the world. The way that I would love to see it even bigger, even more fully in its completeness, right? And then the last bit are the nourishment pieces. And then I'll send you into breakouts. I know we are really short on time here. So the last bit is the nourishment, and maybe the most important. So it's, what are the things that nourish that for you? What are the things that keep you going, that keep you feeling resourced and connected? Yes, I see your hand, Barbara.
Thanks so much, Whitney. It sounds great. Is there a switching, or are we just really working with A's?
Yeah.
I don't see there being time for both people to actually share what matters most to them. Is that true or no?
I think what I would love to do here is maybe just do the 3 minutes and then 1 minute of reflection, and then switch. And then if you have time, I would really love for you to just hone in on the nourishing aspects, right? Because I think that we might have a lot to resource each other around in this. We might be able to get some ideas. Thank you for that noticing and concern, and I think it's very legitimate, so I appreciate you speaking that. Yes, Alan.
And would you like me to send a message to breakout rooms for the timing, or are you asking people to just take care of their own time or needs?
Yeah, so the timer at the top of the breakout room will be for the full amount of time. And I would say we'll probably be here for like, let's do 10 minutes, Alan.
Yeah, we have a half-hour stretch and movement transition after this in this same room, so that gives us a little buffer. We can go into that some.
Okay.
We don't have to end right on time.
Let's do.
But the next session is at 2:30 Pacific, 5:30 Eastern.
So let's go ahead and go into breakout rooms for about, let's do 9 minutes and just share that 3-minute bit reflection and then switch. And then we'll just come back into the room and maybe we'll share some nourishing bits in the chat. Welcome back. Welcome back, folks. I want to give us, we're at the top of the hour, and I just want to invite you into maybe one last practice so that we have a little bit of closure. I'll feel a little bit more completeness maybe as the whole group. I know that was probably really short, right? That was so much content and so little time. So yeah, I just want to invite you into one last practice. So I want you to check in with yourself. I'm actually going to share, let me see if I can share my computer sound real quick. And I want you to check in with yourself about something your heart might need to hear right now. What words does your heart need to hear? Bring this down a little bit while we're chatting and reading here. I'm just checking in. Is there a need there? Maybe just like, if it could only be like condensed down to like a sentence. It's a thing that would feel really nourishing to hear. Maybe it's from a specific person in your life. Maybe it's from a stranger. Maybe it's from yourself. Maybe it's something you want to be able to look in the mirror and say and mean. And what I want to invite you to do, when you have your thing, type it in the chat, but don't hit send. Don't hit that enter button or return or whatever it is on your keyboard. Just type it and wait. If you want to participate, again, this is an invitation, not a requirement. When you're ready, type your thing. We'll just be here for about a minute more. What is it that your heart needs to hear? When you have it, will you give me a thumbs up if you've typed it in the chat? You're ready to go? You need a minute more. Can you give me one of these? A minute more. All right. So on the count of 3, we're all gonna put it in the chat at the same time. You ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Here's what we're gonna do. So I'm going to read the first one, the thing that you need to hear said to you. And I'm going to read it to you. And the person I say it to, I want you to then name the person who's underneath you, say their name, and then read the thing that they need to hear to them. say it to them. So, Alan, I see your heart is yearning for some deep rest. And I'm going to also say to Dawn, when I find your video, and I want to say it to you. Dawn, all things are possible. You got this, and the world is waiting.
And do I say Alan because you already did, or do I go to the next?
Go to the next.
Amy, where did you go, doll? There you are. How can I support you?
And if you're receiving, take a breath. See what it's like to take this in.
Thanks, Dawn. Next on my list is Yoda. It's okay that you're scared, but you don't have to work so hard.
Thank you. Christina, you're doing exactly what you need to be doing. You're exactly where you're supposed to be.
Thanks, Yoda. Kyle, where are you? There you are. Every day, I am grateful that you are here.
Thank you, Christina. Okay, I have Barbara. Let's see. Okay, there you are, Barbara. Trusting all of life how it is.
Kyle, thanks for noticing. Bonnie. I'm looking for Bonnie. Bonnie, it's okay to take care of your own needs today. You matter, and everyone will be okay. I think Bonnie's gone. Luke, you're okay. You're loved, and you're going to make it.
Thank you, Whitney.
Cassie, you're safe in conflict, and not every conflict leads to disconnection or threat of disconnection. Jariah, you are safe with me. Sandy, some connections with people who search for improvement are out there. Marielle, I think I'm saying the names right. My apologies if I'm not. Release is available. Lena, you are enough. As you are, wherever you are enough. It tingles through my body as I'm reading it. Yeah, Ari, thinking about something beautiful happening in your life that is possible. I want your beautiful things. Amy, gentleness and tenderness. Yes. Melanie, love and compassion in person. I see you. I hear your need. Tess, 100 hugs. I see you and I feel you. Thank you so much for everyone for being here.